Ko ala ki te mana, te ruane tātou na kau, ko waitaki te awa e mahiane a pū na harahara. Ko whenua tāka whānau a Innovating no Airangi, ko whenua i tipu ake au ki no Bristol, no Tiamana, no Yorkshire. Ko Ngāti Pākehā te iwi, e mihia ana ki ne toho o nehe o otupote e ne noho neo. Ko Angela Clark, toko ingoa, no reira, tēnā koutou katoa. Thank you very much. Just a gentle warning before we start this presentation. There are images of human bones and skeletal remains today. None of the images shown are from human skeletal remains recovered from Aotearoa, New Zealand, and they're not Koiwi Kamata. Within the depths of the silent messages written on our bones lies a treasure trove of untold narratives awaiting discovery. Human skeletal remains hold more than just their anatomical structures. They are the storytellers of our shared and individual human histories. I invite you today to step into a world where bones speak volumes, each fragment holding the key to untold stories, where the silent whispers of those departed find their voice, and where the pursuit of knowledge and justice knows no bounds. Today, we embark on a transformative journey into the realm of forensic anthropology, a journey that takes us beyond the surface anatomy, beyond the known, and beyond the confines of traditional approaches. This captivating voyage challenges conventional notions, explores new technologies, and forges pathways towards new understandings. Let us step into the extraordinary world of forensic anthropology. As you've heard, I'm Angela. I'm a dedicated and passionate forensic anthropologist and human remains specialist. For nearly 2 decades, I've delved into the profound power of human skeletal remains and the stories that they tell. Forensic anthropology at its core is the study of human skeletal remains. For decades, it has served as a crucial tool in identifying individuals, providing closure to grieving families, and aiding criminal investigations. Today, we shall go beyond the well-trodden paths of identification and into the uncharted territories of 3D technologies that hold untold potential. But first, what is forensic anthropology? If you've ever watched the hit US TV show Bones, you may have an idea about what a forensic anthropologist might do, but in reality, their role, my role, is much more than a scientist in a lab coat looking at bones through a magnifying glass. And all that fancy 3D technology stuff that they show, well, it's not actually real. Not yet, anyway. Technically, forensic anthropology is the application of osteology, the study of the skeletal system, paleopathology, the study of disease, archaeology, and other techniques for the identification of modern human remains and the reconstruction of events surrounding a person's death. Forensic anthropologists have 3 basic roles. They can assist in the identification of deceased individuals whose remains are decomposed, burnt, mutilated, or otherwise unrecognisable from soft tissues alone. They are instrumental to the investigation and documentation of genocide, mass graves, and homicide investigations through establishing the circumstances surrounding the cause of death. And they also commonly testify as expert witnesses in court. A less well-known field understood by anthropologists is forensic taphonomy, which is a study of changes after death to the bones that are caused by soil, water, and other ecological or environmental elements. Many people assume that forensic anthropologists are only consulted for their expertise on individual homicide cases. However, our involvement in mass casualty events and repatriation work demonstrates the anthropologist's broad scope and skill set. One of the most poignant moments in my career that left an indelible mark on the way that I do my work was during the New Zealand Defence Force Operation Te Auraki. The purpose of Te Auraki was to repatriate the remains of New Zealand service personnel and their dependents who died and were buried overseas from 1955 to 1971, back to Aotearoa at the request of their farmers and families. The repatriation process was part of the Government and New Zealand Defence Force commitment to honouring and remembering those who have made the ultimate sacrifice while serving abroad, and provide closure to whānau families of the fallen soldiers and their dependents. I was an invited member of a small team of forensic anthropologists working with forensic odontologists or dentists, archaeologists and military personnel in Malaysia. Together, we ensured a thorough and respectful process which embodied tikanga Māori and upheld the mana of those who sought to repatriate, and also, as professionals, to complete this work with an ethic of manaakitanga. However, as not all families wished for their loved ones to return to Aotearoa, we conducted a full disaster victim identification protocol to ascertain that the remains indeed belonged to that correct individual. This process allows us to delve beyond the surface, unveiling not just the physical identity, but also the stories of those that have passed. In the preceding year, when the Australian government undertook a similar operation, they used invasive and destructive DNA testing for identification purposes. However, we took a different approach, one that embraced tikanga within a kaupapa Māori framework. Our non-destructive analysis for positive identification brought dentists and anthropologists together who recognised the significance of incorporating cultural sensitivity and collaboration into our methods. As we dedicated long hours to our analyses, the lives of these individuals began to emerge. Their narratives unfolded, revealing the circumstances that led to their resting place and the legacy that they left behind. It was a truly humbling experience as we discovered more than just their names. We unravelled the essence of their existence. Their stories were more, so much more than a scientific puzzle. It became an intricate tapestry of humanity, a life cherished, mourned, and celebrated by those who knew them. This experience reinforced the significance of going beyond the conventional approaches of forensic identification. It reminds us that each set of remains holds a story, a life that touched others, a life worth honouring. It is this conviction that propels me to embrace a holistic Māori perspective, an understanding that human beings are not merely biological entities, but also social cultural beings, where we pay homage to the essence of te tapa or te tangata, the inherent sanctity of every individual. So what is it exactly that an anthropologist does? What do we look at? Through scientific examination of bone structures, measurements, and unique features, we're able to decipher crucial details about an individual's identity and life history. By analysing the development and fusion of bones and eruption and development of the teeth, we can accurately estimate an individual's age at the time of their death. Likewise, subtle differences in bone shape and size provide valuable clues for determining the person's sex, height, and ancestral background. But beyond this demographic information, bones offer a window into an individual's lifestyle and health. One particular area of my expertise involves uncovering evidence related to an individual's overall well-being, exposure to stress, and past infections and disease. Teeth, with their remarkable ability to provide a record of an individual's life, provide a unique window into early childhood and adolescent experiences. Enamel hyperplasia, characterised by the disruptions in enamel formation in the teeth, like growth rings in the trunk of a tree, can reveal periods of stress during development, caused by malnutrition, illness, or trauma. Traces of disease or injuries imprinted on bones also offer a wealth of information, enabling us to reconstruct health conditions of an individual and even shed light on the potential causes of their death. When examining skeletal remains, I analyse patterns of bone abnormalities, of lesions, of fractures, or signs of healing to infer past injuries and disease. In cases where trauma has occurred around the time of death, fractures can provide critical insights into the nature of the injury and cause potential circumstances surrounding it. By understanding the types of fractures and their distribution, I can reconstruct events leading up to the individual's death. Distinguishing between natural taxonomic processes caused by the ocean, sun, wind, or rain, and signs of human intervention is vital, particularly in cases of foul play, such as might have happened in a homicide investigation. Presenting this evidence in court can be challenging. The descriptions and photographs of graphic and disturbing events can weigh heavily on the hearts and minds of those present, including the jury and the whānau, families and friends of the victim in the courtroom. Here, my expertise and knowledge are relied on to help reconstruct events from the bones, unveiling the realities of these violent acts. Trauma analysis requires a comprehensive understanding of the skeletal anatomy and pathology, coupled with the ability to remain impartial amidst the emotionally charged nature of a criminal trial. Through my role as an expert witness, I aim to bridge the gap between scientific intricacies of forensic anthropology and the human impact of the evidence presented. I seek to provide clarity and understanding while striving to be the voice for those who can no longer speak. As I stand before you today, I share with you a personal and professional journey that has both challenged and inspired me. Traditionally, presenting complex traumatic events to a jury is done using flat, two-dimensional photographs or sketched images. However, in one particular criminal trial, the nature of the trauma to the bones was very extensive and very graphic. I found the limitations of showing these photographs to the jury quite palpable, and used hand gestures and my pencil to simulate bone fractures in the courtroom. And from this experience, I worked to bridge the gap between sharing this type of evidence and the science involved behind reading it, to immerse the jury in a comprehensive understanding of the evidence. From that court case, I had an idea. What if I could present the evidence in 3D models or even in 3D printed replicas like the ones you see here in front of us? The idea seemed too simple, almost like something you see on a TV show, but it had never been fully explored in the courtroom before. From my work with the Defence Force, iwi and Runanga, I knew that I needed to approach this idea with cultural sensitivity and ethical consideration. I formed a research team to explore the validity and cultural appropriateness of this method using a Te Ao Māori lens. With research funding, we embarked on a pilot study to create 3D models and printed replicas. This innovative approach allowed me to showcase accurate and precise traumatic lesions on bones in a way that could leave little room for ambiguity. Using digital models on computerized simulations, I could take the jury on a journey through the evidence, providing them with a perspective that transcended the confines of flat, graphic images. Our initial discussions with local iwi and Māori stakeholders and partners has been very positive. Yet, as we harness the transformative potential of 3D technology in the courtroom, we do so with cultural awareness and respect, navigating the realm of Indigenous data ethics, Māori data sovereignty, and Māori data governance. In doing so, we uphold the mana and honour the voices of those stories that we seek to reveal. But before introducing these innovations into the courtroom, we still need to test the validity of this new method. The next phase in our research is to test these models and how they're received by a mock jury, and further explore the views, values and beliefs of iwi and Hapori across Aotearoa. I believe that embracing technology in the courtroom is not about theatricality or replicating what is shown on TV. It is about improving justice outcomes. Through rigorous validation and peer review, I'm currently fortifying the credibility of these 3D presentations as digital models or 3D printed bone replicas, ensuring that they adhere to higher standards of scientific and ethical integrity. As we continue to implement this groundbreaking approach, we must merge Indigenous knowledge with scientific rigour, recognising the profound interconnectedness between culture, identity, and the human remains that we examine. This is the power of going beyond in forensic anthropology. where innovative technologies and cultural sensitivity converge to pave the way for equity in a courtroom. It is a profound responsibility to be the voice for those who can no longer speak, to unveil their untold stories and seek justice without bounds. Through the power of cutting-edge technologies and embracing a technology lens, I'm navigating a revolutionary pathway within the field of forensic anthropology, acknowledging the interconnectedness of culture, identity, and the human remains I examine, always honouring the essence of the tapa, of the tangata. As I take my next steps on this journey, I'm filled with hope and inspiration, knowing that the pursuit of justice is an ever-evolving quest, one that we all have the power to contribute to. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā karato kapa.